Hi, everyone. I am Jennifer Harder, your financial educator, and welcome to the How to Be a Money Master website, where we are all about financial empowerment and helping you learn about money, finances, and investing so you can make better fiscal choices, break free from the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, learn how to leverage your debt as opposed to just becoming debt free, have hope for the future, and if you choose, eventually become financially free. I know financial freedom means something different to everyone, and it's definitely not a goal for everyone. So that's why I leave that at the end, and it's an optional part of this. But if you want to, this will definitely set you up so you can succeed in that area. A little background about me. I'm former military. I was in the Air Force, and I used my GI Bill to become an accountant. And also, in addition to my bachelor's in accounting, I also earned my MBA. And then I went into the governmental and not-for-profit side of accounting. And in doing so, especially in the not-for-profit area, I was really able to see what a lot of people are struggling with. And unfortunately, as a finance director, I was unable to specifically help people. But now I've been able to, find an avenue for doing so. So I am more than happy to be here and help you in any way I can. I am actually on a mission to help at least 1 million people break free from the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, if you want to call it that. I know it's not a lifestyle that anyone would choose, but unfortunately that is what it becomes by 2030. And so anything I can do to achieve that mission, that's what I'm all about. So a little backing up a little bit as to how this came into being. When I was first trying to determine what I could do to help make the world a better place, because when you're in your 40s, it's all about legacy. And how are you going to make the world a better place? And so I decided to look for a moonshot. And for those of you who do not know what a moonshot is, it is an almost impossible, overwhelming goal. But it's something that you just have to do. And like I said, at the time I was figuring this out, I was working at a small not-for-profit in the most impoverished section of Syracuse, New York. This is an area that is more impoverished than Detroit. There are dozens of gangs. Shootings and stabbings are a part of daily life. Nobody ever sees anything. Drugs are rampant. And in fact, we didn't do drug testing on our employees because it was expected that none would pass. And yet, for all of this violence in the teens and young adults, I noticed that the elders and the children were very respectful. Most people refer to their elders as Mr. or Ms. The elders dressed up when they went to church or had a meeting to attend. The children had the same hopes and dreams as children do everywhere. They were taught to say please and thank you. And it really had a small town atmosphere. Everyone knew everyone. There were almost no secrets and a lot of gossip. I also realized that children never said that they want to be on welfare when they grow up. They never said they want to live paycheck to paycheck. They never said, I want to grow up and struggle. And at the same time, I noticed that many of my former 4-Hers who were now young adults living on their own were also struggling to make ends meet. And these were kids from stable, loving homes with great support networks. They knew what they should be doing, but they were having difficulty actually doing it. And many were settling for things that did not bring them joy just so they could pay their bills. And I started to ask myself, at what age do people give up on their hopes and dreams? In asking this question, I was really hoping I'd be able to figure out at what age that happened so that I could then start reaching out to these teens or tweens and before they reach that age so that I could reach them before they gave up and which would cause them to never give up. And in doing so, they would not have to struggle and give into societal pressures to be just like everyone else. So my moonshot quickly became, how can I make poverty optional? But then I quickly realized, and this is a controversial statement, I know, but poverty is already optional. With the technology and resources we have today, anyone in the world, from anywhere in the world, can be successful. They can be a millionaire or a billionaire. They can live his or her dream life. So why do so many struggle? The answer I found is actually simple. Most people are not taught about money, finances, or investing. They are taught they should save some money, they should invest in a 401k or some other retirement vehicle, they should work hard, and they should pay their bills. And if they do that, if they work hard and do what they're supposed to do, they will be considered successful in life, and that's all they can expect. And they should be happy with that. But then they look around and they see others who have more, who have the new cars, the nice big house, they travel, they have yachts. They really seem to be having a great time. And they start to think, why not me? Why can't I have those things? What am I doing wrong? And the answer is they're really not doing anything wrong. They are doing everything they're supposed to do, but unfortunately the system has failed them. They were taught to be good employees and good consumers. And while this is great for the economy, it's not great for the soul. In addition to the soul-crushing aspect of this way of life, the person ends up with poverty, financial stress, and physical symptoms that actually make the problem worse. And ultimately, they end up living paycheck to paycheck, getting further and further in debt. This vicious cycle makes it more and more difficult for the average employee to believe they can succeed. And in fact, it actually makes it more difficult for them, not just the perception, but it actually does make it more difficult for them to succeed. They are stuck in this rut they cannot get out of. They are trapped in a hamster wheel of worry and despair. And this affects not only the employee, but the employer's bottom line. It's actually estimated that financial stress cost the symptoms of financial stress cost employers thousands of dollars annually per employee in days off, sick time, lack of focus, and lost productivity. It actually is over $500 billion a year in the U.S. alone. And, I know from being in my finance and HR roles that, there's only so much you can do. There's only so much time. You can't, in addition to actually having almost your hands tied, because it's very difficult to be allowed to give them any kind of advice. It's very recommended that you do not give them advice or specific advice. You can recommend them or refer them to other resources, but it's also, time consuming, and you just don't have the time for that. And, so it's very, very frustrating. And so if you're an employer, I really recommend that you give your employees the tools that they need to succeed, including the How to Be a Money Master course. I actually have an employee financial wellness program that is very inexpensive, and the return on investment is huge, especially even if only 5 or 10% of your employees take advantage of it, you will see a large return on that investment. And it sets you up to be an employer who cares. And, so that's definitely one thing. And if you're an employee or an individual, you are in the right place because you are taking action to take control of your financial destiny. So that is absolutely huge. Excuse me. And so when you think about it, the average employer has an employee assistance program. They have an employee wellness program. And these take care of your physical and mental health, but they do not take care of the financial health. And the financial health can actually affect the mental and physical health. So you definitely want to make sure that you have all three legs to the stool covered, so that, people have the foundation that they need in order to succeed. Right now, believe it or not, 1 in 9 full-time U.S. employees are living at or below the poverty line. Now, this does not include adults who work multiple part-time jobs, and it does not include employees who earn enough to be above the poverty line but are still mired in debt. They actually say that if you are making $11.83 an hour or less, that's the poverty line for a family of 4. And even a full-time single employee making minimum wage is living in poverty. Now note, the poverty level is not the same as living wage. The poverty level is what's considered enough to have the bare minimum to survive without needing government assistance. So this takes care of your housing, food, healthcare, transportation, childcare, and taxes. Now, according to MIT's living wage calculator, in 2018, the least expensive place to live in the U.S. was McAllen, Texas. The living wage in McAllen is $10.31 an hour for a single person. Manhattan is over $16 an hour, and that assumes that one either has a rent-controlled housing or they have roommates. Financial stress can manifest itself as depression, anxiety, illness, denial, fear, poor sleep, gastrointestinal disease or distress, and strained relationships. And most of this can be attributed to employees who are uneducated about money, finances, and investments. The general result, coming back to it again, is that millions of Americans, not to mention people in other parts of the world, are living paycheck to paycheck, and that is just such a vicious cycle that can seem almost impossible to break. Now, there is a growing movement demanding schools start teaching students about finances. This is unlikely to happen because the school system has been the same for well over 150 years. And even if it does, in the meantime, something has to be done to teach adults how to handle their finances. And unfortunately, the people who need this knowledge the most are the least likely to pay someone to teach them. This is where I come in. So for employees and individuals, do you want an inexpensive opportunity to learn about money, finances, and investing? For employers, do you want a low-cost option to offer your employees to support them as they learn to break free of the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle and reduce stress and increase productivity? I actually have a subscription program, like I said, available for the employers and for people who are employees or individuals. I also have a Facebook community. I have YouTube videos. I have lots of videos and articles on this website. I do daily Workday Facebook post and Workday LinkedIn post covering a wide variety of topics. And I am always available to answer your questions if you have something specific. So I am here to help you learn about money, finances, and investing so that you can live a better life. Let's see here. Sorry, my notes are... And so really, I want to invite you to come and work with me and help me achieve my mission to help at least 1 million people by 2030 in becoming financially empowered and living a better life. Take a look at things, ask me questions. I'm really here for you. I really care about this. And if it's also something that you then want to go deeper on and have me support you in some way, whether it be accountability or holding your hand and walking through the process, I tend not to do things for you because I'd rather teach you how to fish than to give you a fish, because that way then you can go ahead and teach that to your children or whoever else, your neighbors, your friends, your family. I really want you to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. We work on mindset. We work on a wide variety of topics and things so that you have a well-rounded ability to overcome whatever weakness you have that's caused you to be in this area. And I myself am always a student. I'm always bringing things. I'm always experimenting on myself. I'm always bringing new ideas. And, so please join the How to Be a Money Master free Facebook community. It's a safe, shame-free zone where we can discuss all these things and share and encourage each other. Or feel free to, message me directly and, let me know how I can help you. So thank you for all of your time. I appreciate you listening to this entire video, and everyone have a wonderful day. Thanks.